What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel. I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for a conference that we hosted here on time. They did what they needed to do, was seamless and transparent. It was great. The feedback, everyone was impressed. So it went out, it was a conference level, so a state level event, and everyone was impressed with the product and the result. We got the DVDs too, which people purchased, and they were impressed with those. It was great overall.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, founder and CEO of Lighthouse Streaming. Over the last 4 years, we've had some tremendous successes, none of which could have been accomplished without you, our clients, and our viewers. From my family and the staff of Lighthouse Streaming, thank you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel. I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for...
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, getting ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on this Wednesday afternoon, as we got plenty to talk about here. As the NBA draft starts tonight, coming on in just about an hour and a half. The NBA draft will come on. We'll see some kids' lives change forever after tonight. We all know who the number one pick is. We'll talk a little bit about that here tonight. We'll talk some more about the historic season that SGA just finished off having and winning the NBA championship after winning 68 games as well. We'll talk about some more hot topics going on around the world of sports, talk a little bit of NFL, and we'll also talk about this crazy trade news that's been going on over the last couple of days here in the NFL. So stay tuned, folks, and stay locked in with us here on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody that's watching with us over on YouTube. That's Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV over on YouTube. Want to thank everybody for tuning in with us on there. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on the YouTube if you're watching with us on there. Also, you can watch on our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. That is CentexSportsNetwork.com. Make sure you guys go over there and check us out on there. Free subscription. All we need is your name and your email. You can get signed up for free to catch all of our content on there. Well, folks, like I said, plenty to talk about here today on Centex Primetime, so we're going to jump straight into it. Joining me today over the phone, familiar voice and face to the show, we've got PJ Gaither joining in with us for some of the conversation here today. PJ, what's going on?
Man, just chilling, man. Ready to get on some of these, these topics. There's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of trades. There's a lot of stuff going on, football and basketball, really.
Yeah, it kind of started off to a hot start so far in the summer. Usually the summer is where, I try to watch whatever Netflix shows is on or anything like that, because during the season, I don't even really have that much time to watch a lot of the other random stuff. But we've got a lot of news that's been going on back to back to back. Before we jump into the NBA draft that's starting tonight, got a couple topics for that. I got to ask you about this Canelo and Crawford fight, man. We saw the face-off the other day. We saw them, do their weigh-in, or not their weigh-ins, do their face-offs to start their promo for the fight. The fight is happening in September. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. We all know Crawford is going up in weight. We know this is probably one of the last fights, if not the last fight for a guy like Canelo. But he had something interesting to say when they were talking to him about some other fights, and they asked him what fight would he want to see. What fight would he want to see this year that happens or next in boxing that doesn't include him? And the two names he said was Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. PJ, you're a boxing enthusiast like myself, really more than me. Why can't we see a fight like this? Why can't we get a Tank versus a Shakur? Why can't we get a Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson? These fights seem to never happen. And hats off to Canelo and Crawford for making this happen, because as much stuff as they both had to get to make this work within the contract, the money splits, the catch weight they're going to meet at. Shout out to them for making this happen. But why can't we see a Shakur Stevenson and a Gervonta Davis type of fight?
We can't see a Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight just because Shakur, he runs around with rap a lot, trying to be he moves like he's an artist or something. They be kind of moving around trying to prove a point too much. And then they just bring too many stipulations when it comes to them fighting instead of just going ahead and making the fight. A lot of these guys, y'all don't have a lot of pay-per-view fights. So if you don't have a lot of pay-per-view fights, then you don't deserve the right to have 50-50 when it comes to the money. Yep. You know what I mean? If that fighter has more, he's pulling more weight than you. You know what I mean? And Gervonta in that weight class, he is pulling more weight than anybody in that weight class. When it comes to Devin Haney allows his father to play two, which is going to end up being a downfall of his career, which I think it already has been kind of.
Yeah, low key, it already has.
Because you see, you lose a fight and you want to sue a guy, but y'all don't have any proof, really. I mean, as to what I haven't seen any proof yet as to what the guy has done for you to even be trying to sue. So a lot of these fights, man, we don't get definitely in that 130, 135, just because a lot of these guys, they too many guys are trying to be businessmen and they're not business savvy at all. And they gotta realize that and just make these fights happen so that us as fans and enthusiasts, we can get the fights that we all been waiting to get. And it only makes sense for a lot of these fights to happen because when we speak on these guys, all these guys are in the same weight class.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense that we can't get. It's not like these guys are like Crawford and going up in weight, or like Canelo, about a decade ago when he finally started going up in weight. Mm-hmm. That's not the situation with these guys. These guys are all in the same weight class. I think Shakur Stevenson is probably the only one that's actually going up in weight because he was originally at 130 instead of 135. Yep. But that's not that big of a
No, that's 5 pound jump.
So, yeah, a lot of these guys, man, we can't get no fights, man, because a lot of these guys, I don't know what's going on with Gervonta right now. He said he don't even really too much care about boxing. But I mean, I get it though a little bit just because you can't get the fights that you want.
Yeah, I mean, Tank at some point, some of the guys really don't want to fight him, and then some of the guys, I just don't know. I'm like you, it's too many guys trying to be other things other than boxers. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Devin Haney and all these guys, everybody sharing the same girlfriend. Like, can we just focus on boxing? I don't get it. I don't understand why those fights don't happen. Like you said, Shakur and Gervonta are fighting at pretty much the same weight. If Crawford can come up from, what was his last fight, 154? If he can jump all the way up 10 pounds at a catch weight.
He's fighting at 147.
Yeah. The last fight was still at 147. So he ain't even went up to 154 yet. And he's going to skip that and jump up to fight at 160 something. That's how you know they actually want to make this fight happen. That's why I got to give hats off to Canelo's side and the Crawford side for making this happen, because neither one of them had to make this fight happen. Now, go ahead.
That I didn't even. This was a fight originally that you remember we talked. I didn't even care to really see this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I felt that it wasn't realistic, but I just didn't really care to see the fight because at that time I was expecting for Spence to try to get a second
For
fight,
him to
but
go
at
up,
a higher weight. Yeah, but at a higher weight, the second fight, but that never came. So now I'm like, okay, I actually do like this fight because it's been dry. We haven't really been getting no fights, we haven't really been getting any fights, man. The heavyweight weight class right now is dead. There's really nothing good to see in the heavyweights. The welterweight is pretty much dead right now. You don't have a lot of good fights. I mean, you got Boots, but who else besides Boots that you got in the welterweight class that you really want to see right now? And that's only if they're up and coming.
We haven't even got a solidified date for the Roach and Tank fight. Rematch.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a rematch. They got to draw. They act like somebody won, and they just wipe their hands with it. Why we ain't seen a locked-in date for that?
For that, yeah. I'm still mad at Gervonta with that because that he is a better fighter, and there's no disrespect to Lamont Roach because, he come from the same area a little bit. They all from the DMV.
For sure.
Well, they would say Baltimore, not the DMV, but, I mean, to outsiders, man, y'all the DMV, y'all right there.
Baltimore is in Maryland, for all our people in Baltimore. I'm sorry. DMV stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia. But they do always try to make a point to say that. Oh, we not in the DMV, we Baltimore. It's like, okay, bro.
Yeah, no. Y'all right there. But, them guys, they came up together in the amateurs. They really cool, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know each other moms. So I don't know if Gervonta is trying to take it easy as far as in that situation or if, he just – I don't really know, man. I feel like he played around too much up in that fight. Because to me, he is the better fighter. I wasn't expecting for a knockout because Lamont Roach he's a dog in his own right. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to figure out with that too, like why we haven't gotten a rematch for that. It's like I said, man. A lot of these fights not happening because a lot of these guys are trying to be something that they're not.
Yeah, I actually want this to be the cause to break up how boxing is right now. There needs to be a league. That's the only way that it's going to be able to happen. These promoters run everything. It really ain't about the boxer. Really ain't about anything besides the promoters. These promoters run everything. We got 2 or 3, 4 or 5 different belts. Let's just get one belt for each weight class so that you have to fight. We're supposed to have mandatories, but clearly that doesn't matter anymore. We've seen so many people duck their mandatories over the last 5, 6, 7 years. They don't even matter anymore.
Dudes is out here ducking their mandatory, that's like for people who don't get that, because they don't really follow boxing. Basically, your mandatory. I mean, it's self-explanatory. If the WBC, WBA, WBO, the IBF, if they come and tell you, like, hey, there's a ranking system when it comes to these weight classes.
Yep.
So you got contenders. So if you're a number one contender, then you don't have a belt at all. But the champion, that means the champion, though, the number one, 9 times out of 10, the number one contender and probably number 2 contender, sometimes number 3 contender, they're going to fight. Whoever comes out of that fight gets to fight the champion.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the champions are ducking their mandatory. They're ducking the contenders. The champions are ducking the contenders.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people will say to that point, even Rocky said a little bit yesterday, but that Floyd kind of started this, ducking people and not fighting the contender because it doesn't make sense. And I don't subscribe to that. I think Floyd fought all of his mandatories. We remember him fighting Andre Berto and all these random people at the end of his career. But the first 25, 30 fights, he fought all his mandatory. He fought Sugar Shane. He fought Cotto. He fought De La Hoya. He fought every mandatory out there. Ricky Hatton.
He fought all these.
Yeah, he fought all those guys. I'm not the guy that would say he ducked some of his mandatories in there, but a lot of these dudes are doing that. Even in this fight with the Crawford and Canelo. Canelo has ducked more fights than almost anybody I could think of. But Canelo has already said he don't really care. Canelo, once DAZN gave him that money and he fought Floyd, he figured Floyd and Triple G, those were his last ones that he was like, okay, I fought the guys I feel like I needed to fight. After that, DAZN gave him a big old check. He didn't really care about it anymore. But Canelo ducked more fights than, all the guys that we talking about.
Man, we done seen Canelo fight a bunch of rushings for
Yeah.
like the last 8 years. I'm not even exaggerating. He
No,
done
that's
fought
not an
so many
exaggeration. He's
Russians.
fought all of Eastern Europe before he fought
Yeah.
any other Mexicans. He didn't want to fight Bevo.
I-
He didn't want to fight Benavidez. He didn't want to fight nobody.
He was actually recently. I think I seen him fight one Mexican guy, and I remember the Mexican guy was so thankful. He was so like praising him like he was the Lord. He was praising Canelo like he was the Lord before the fight.
That's come on, man. That's like when the Dream Team was out there and they was trying to get autographs for the game. You already lost, bro. You lost if you're going out like that. You can't be doing that. But this Canelo Crawford fight, man, I'm excited to see it. I think this is a legacy builder for Crawford. And he talked about it. It's a legacy builder for him. Like I said, Canelo's got the Triple G fights. He's got the Floyd Mayweather fights. Crawford, he's got the Spence fight. Outside of that, he doesn't have those legacy fights. He has great fights, but he doesn't have those legacy fights. This is a legacy fight for Terrence Crawford. I got Crawford in this one, and he's the underdog. So this is the time, folks, for those of y'all that like to bet. You better get in now while he's still the underdog. I like Crawford in this fight, even though he's coming up in all the weights. But that fight doesn't happen until September. We got a lot of time to talk about it. I just had to say something about him saying he called those guys out. So thank you to Terrence Crawford for doing that, because we've been trying to get these guys to fight the Tank and Shakurs, the Devin Haney's and Shakur Stevenson, all these guys to fight each other. That's all in the same weight class. But instead we ended up with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, which nobody wanted to see. So hopefully this fight inspires other guys to come out here and actually try to make something happen with their fights. And that Crawford-Canelo fight, like I said, that is all the way in September. Tonight, the NBA draft takes place tonight, folks. Like I said, some people, their lives are going to change forever after tonight. We all pretty much know the consensus number one pick is Cooper Flagg in this draft, going to the Dallas Mavericks. Still crazy that that's even happening. But we're not exactly sure about some of the other guys within this draft. One of the kids that I really like, probably my second favorite, if not favorite player in this draft, and that's Ace Bailey. He's been in the news the last couple of days because he reportedly didn't work out for any teams. He denied all workouts, didn't work out for any teams, and now we're seeing his draft stock potentially falling. These are all mock drafts, but in the mock drafts, he's continued to fall from number 2 to number 4 to I've seen him as low as 7 or 8 now in some of these mock drafts because he decided to not work out for any teams. Now, I'm all for player empowerment. I'm all for, doing a Dion role of, hey, man, if you're picking at 9 or 10, I'm not working out for you because I'm not going to be there at 9 or 10. But he didn't work out with anybody. He didn't work out with the Spurs. Paul George came on his podcast like a snitch and said that he didn't work out for the Sixers and canceled on the workouts the day of the workouts. So that was kind of crazy. But I'm all for the player empowerment stuff. But, bro, go out there and work out, man. You're not bigger than the program. We just watched something slightly similar with this happen with Shador and how he fell in the draft. But Ace Bailey, you haven't done anything yet, bro. Don't go out there and don't work out for any teams. I'm all with you if you say I'm not working out for the Raptors. The Raptors have the number 9 pick. But you coming out and saying I'm not working out for anybody is kind of crazy. And if he falls in the draft, it'll honestly be his fault, even though I don't think he should fall in the draft because I think he's just as good, honestly, as Cooper Flagg or right underneath Cooper Flagg as far as the talent level. PJ, what do you think about Ace Bailey deciding to not work out for any teams at all before the draft?
These dudes are throwing away millions of dollars, bro. They are. This is stupid to me. I don't understand when guys do this. If LeBron James worked out for different teams when he was coming into the league, y'all have no. Even Kobe, y'all have no. Yep. Y'all have no room to be like, nah, I ain't gonna work unless you finna be like that when you get up in the league. You better be like that when you get in the league if you're not gonna work out. But to me, it's just stupid because you're potentially throwing away millions of dollars because you're going to drop. You're going to drop. Just work out, bro. Cooper Flagg worked out for Dallas, and they said they thought he was. Just go out there and do a workout, bro. I promise you, you're only going to be in there for like an hour and a half, bro. Maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most. It ain't too much that they can have you do. Yeah, y'all not gonna be living. They act like they finna be living in the gym for like 5 hours or something like this. Real practice. They finna have y'all just do some drills. You gonna do some drills. You know what I mean? You gonna be shooting, whatever. It's just simple stuff that you always do, bro. Just go and work out. The problem is these dudes, the agents, they in their ear,
exactly.
wrong thing. Dudes is like 19, some of them 18 years old still. You know, that's the problem. Like, just go out there and work out, bro.
I don't get it, bro. What do you gain from not work? Do you think that you're gonna get some like extra lure or aura from not work? Like, I didn't work out for anybody. You want to have a cool story 15 years from now when you're out the NBA and be like, yeah, I didn't even work out for nobody. I just went out. That doesn't make any sense. Whoever is advising this young man, you're advising him wrong. Your teammate is about to get drafted ahead of you, Dylan Harper. His pops was in the NBA. You should be listening. First of all, whoever his team is, that's what your team probably should have been. If you got a teammate whose dad was in the NBA, dad was a multiple-time All-Star, a 3-time champion, maybe I should probably do what he's doing. You going out and say, I'm not going to work out for any teams. Work out for 3 or 4 teams, bro. The Spurs, the Sixers, the Hornets. Work out for those teams. If you say you don't want to work out for somebody at the bottom of the draft, cool. But you just not work out for anybody, I don't know what your logic is on that.
Brad the Mercer gonna work out for like what, three teams?
You could, and after that, say I'm cool on workouts. I'm not working out for nobody else. The Spurs got the number 2 pick, Philly got the number 3, Hornets got the number 4, Jazz got the number 5. Work out for those teams.
Yeah.
And the rest of them say, hey, I'm cool on the workouts. But you say I'm just not gonna work out for anybody. See, it doesn't help. And I like Ace Bailey, but then he already had the thing. They were talking to him during the NBA draft when they were doing the scrimmage, the combine. They were doing the scrimmages, and they always interview some of the players that aren't scrimmaging. And they interviewed him and said, what's some of your they said, give me 5 weaknesses and 5 strengths about your – no, 3 weaknesses and 3 strengths about your game. He said, I got more than 3 strengths, and I ain't got no weaknesses. That was his answer. I said, okay. So, I get it. Okay, that's cool, whatever, cool little answer. But then you couple that with I'm not working out with nobody. Then you couple that with whatever other else crazy stuff you probably said in the pre-draft process. Man, what did these do? Who is big up in these guys like that? I blame social media like we do for everything else. I might as well blame social media for this too. Who told you bigger than yourself? What are you doing, bro?
Don't quote me, bro, but I think Sharif Cooper dad is his agent or something.
Oh, man, he's doomed. Where's Sharif Cooper at? Yeah. He's doomed.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? I think I heard that too, though. I think I heard because ain't Ace Bailey from Georgia? Pretty sure he's from Georgia. Yeah. And I know Sharif from Georgia. So come on, man. Like, that's crazy. Why is he your agent? Because where's his kid at? And Sharif Cooper was nice. Sharif Cooper got one of the best high school tapes that was out. He not in the league. Nice. So why is his dad advising you to do what? To also not get into the league? Like, what are we doing, bro? And now you're not working out for nobody. You probably did some other. What about the off the court money? What about Nike? Forget the workouts. What about Nike? What about Adidas? What about all these people that might say, hey, we might not take a chance on you because you're already doing crazy stuff. Let's just get it to your teammate.
I'm not throwing millions of dollars away. I know that.
For nothing. For a 45-minute workout?
Dudes act like they ain't grow up broke or something.
Like, that's crazy.
Like, we ain't never touched a meal.
No.
We ain't never touched a meal, bro. We ain't never got close to touching a meal.
That's
what
crazy,
are y'all doing?
Dog. I don't understand Ace Bailey's reasoning. I don't understand his thought process on this. Because it can only hurt you. You can't say I'm going to not work out and then it somehow helps your draft chances or helps your off-the-court money. That's not going to happen. You could have had an actual legit reason. Maybe you say, my ankle's a little tweaked up right now. But you just be like, I ain't working out for nobody.
Where's father?
See, that was going to be my next question. If Sharif Cooper dad is your agent, who is your dad the agent of? Like, what's going on with that? I don't know what's going. And then why don't you just go with Dylan Harper is your teammate, bro. His dad is a 3-time, 4-time NBA champion. Maybe you should get him and say, hey, who's your agent? Maybe I'll just go on there and get with your agent. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much. Like I said, I think Ace Bailey is the second best player in this draft. So hopefully it doesn't hurt him in his draft process too much. But, man, I don't understand that way of thinking at all and what you're trying to prove by not going out there and working out, bro. The Spurs would be a nice pickup for him. But at this point, I think the Spurs are going to take Dylan Harper. If we know anything about the Spurs, they're a no-nonsense organization. You ain't even want to come to work out, probably not picking you. Paul George already came on his podcast and snitched and said that Ace Bailey canceled the workout a couple of hours before the workout was supposed to happen. So the Sixers definitely ain't picking him. So now you're looking at
snitched?
Yeah, he said that's how I even figured that out. Paul George said it yesterday on his podcast.
How you do that?
Hey, Paul George a weird guy, man. I don't know. I don't know. He could have kept that information to himself. He act like he the GM. Like, Paul, you're not the GM, bro. Who cares if he canceled the workout the day of?
Charging the young dude, bro. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that was kind of foul, PG. I don't know. You didn't have to throw him out there like that. Your interview was gonna get more news than if the GM comes out and says if the GM come out and says the same thing, it's not gonna get as much traction. But you saying it's gonna get all on Instagram, it's gonna be on Twitter, it's gonna be on TikTok, all of this. So you definitely didn't help with that. So he's probably not gonna get picked at number 3. So then now we're looking at number 4 pick, and the number 4 and 5 pick, well, really 4, 5, and 6. You got the Hornets, the Jazz, and Washington. Come on, nobody wants to end up there, bro. You should have been a top 3 pick, but now you're gonna end up in one of these career-ending organizations and be and be another random draft pick like all these guys have. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Baylor's got a guy that's going top 5 that some people are saying has the potential to be the best NBA player out of Baylor. Definitely at least since Benny Johnson or somebody like that, and that's VJ Edgecombe. A guy that super athletic. I think the best comp that I heard that I like the most for him is Victor Oladipo. He's definitely the most athletic player in this draft by far. Very raw talent. He's not a dominant scorer, maybe like an Ace Bailey or even a Cooper Flagg at times, but probably the best athlete within this draft. What do you think about VJ Edgecombe going top 5 in this year's draft?
I like the Victor Oladipo comparison. Yeah. That's really, really. I feel like I think that's perfect, honestly. He's a great player. I really personally I feel like that he wasn't able to reach his full potential at Baylor. I felt like I wanted him to stay, but either way though, man, the kid is talented. I just hope that he goes to a team that's going to be able to develop him in a proper manner, and not a team that's going to be throwing him out there to the wolves like immediately. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that he's still element, but he can still play. But like he don't need to go nowhere and be asked to be an automatic starter. You know what I mean? He plugged in a little bit for a few minutes. You know what I mean? Throughout the season, however many games, and help him develop. But he's a great player, like you said. I feel like he probably is one of the most athletic players in this draft, and his upside is insane.
Definitely. I mean, his vertical is crazy. We watched him in the pre-draft process. We've seen all his dunks. We've seen him try to end somebody's career in the NCAA tournament. That first game against Mississippi State, he just ended up missing a dunk. But man, he really, really good player. I'm excited to see where VJ can go. Has the potential to be the best player. I mean, we never know. But if we're looking at just the history of Baylor guys, he has the potential to be right up there as the best player. Scott Drew, I talked about him a little bit on Monday here on the show. Another phenomenal job of putting out another lottery pick. I think this is 5 years in a row of putting somebody in the lottery. Once again, he's going to join, Keontae George and Jacoby Walter, Davion Mitchell, all of those guys, man. This is another one of those top draft picks for Baylor, and they got more guys coming in that are probably going to be top draft picks at Baylor as well, man. So shout out to Baylor and shout out to VJ for potentially becoming a top 5 pick in this year's draft. Is there anybody else game that you really like in this draft that you're kind of excited to see where they're going to go? I got a couple that I like, like Trey Johnson, Derek Queen, different guys like that. Is there anybody, though, that you're in particular that you're kind of excited to see where they can fall in this draft?
Well, you just named one of them, Trey Johnson. That's just because I'm a Texas fan, too. Man, but nice. He's very, very nice, bro. And, I was watching the Jeff Teague podcast, and Jeff Teague was like, man, like he's bigger than what we thought he was. Mm-hmm. Dude has some size. A lot of these positions, man, a lot of positions now, man, guys are getting bigger. Like, you're starting to see more, like bigger point guards, like dudes coming in, they 6'5", playing at point guard.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? 6 playing at point guard. Like, that's crazy. That's shooting guard height.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Trey Johnson, man, I'm really interested in seeing where he's going. I think he's going to fit in really good anywhere. He's just an exciting player to watch, bro. Very exciting player to watch. And so I think anywhere he goes, I don't want him to go. I ain't saying I want him to go to like Washington or something like that.
Please no.
You know what I mean?
Please don't send him to Washington or the Hornets. Those really my only two franchises that every year I hope somebody I like doesn't get drafted to them. Because I just haven't seen any outside of John Wall. I have seen no success from any draft pick from the Washington Wizards. None.
Nah.
Like none. Antoine Jameson, when they had Antoine and Karan and Gilbert Arenas, none of those guys got drafted by the Wizards. Like I'm talking about their draft picks. I haven't seen any success outside of John Wall and Bradley Beal with them drafting guys. I hope that he doesn't go there. But I like Trey Johnson too, though. The fact that Baylor could have had him and VJ still kills me to this day. They were right there in the running to get. I mean, they were going all out to get Trey Johnson. And they really kind of pivoted to go and get VJ Edgecombe after Trey Johnson decided to commit to Texas. But the fact that we could have had both of those, man, that's crazy. But Trey Johnson definitely one of my favorite players in this draft. Just a natural score, probably the best scorer in the draft is Trey Johnson.
Yeah.
Probably the best scorer in the draft. Derek Queen, the only real true big in my opinion. I know everybody's liking the big guy out of Duke or whatever, but I mean he just looked like a sheen to beat to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe he'll end up being good. I like Derek Queen. Give me a guy that can do multiple different things out there on the court as a big man. I think he's got a lot of upside, maybe the most upside in this draft. We all know Cooper Flagg is going number one. How do you see Cooper Flagg? You know, a lot of Dallas fans, they're already saying, Cooper's going to come in and do this, do that. Do you see Cooper being a superstar in the league one day, or being an all-star in the league one day, or maybe just being just a guy in the league once he gets there?
I think he has all the upside to be a star. It's just really all how Dallas is going to utilize him. I think he's going to fit in really good with the culture there, and definitely with them just losing Luka this past season the way they did. You know what I mean? Dallas need something like this. You know what I mean? To kind of get them back up, man, because they've been down ever since Luka got traded to the Lakers. So I think he can be a star. Like I said, he has all the upside. He's a really big and strong kid, though. Like he's very strong. Then just all around as a basketball player, he's really good. Like I say, I think he's very talented. He can be a star. Just all about how they utilize him, all about how they put different weapons around him. You know, and you're playing with Kyrie Irving. You're going to have no choice but to be good. Kyrie's going to give him the ball. So I don't think he'll be I don't know. I don't know. I ain't gonna say I don't think, because I don't know if he's gonna be a day one just superstar off the back. From year one.
Yeah.
And that's huge for anybody. That's a lot of pressure for anyone, even a number one overall pick. But I think that he's gonna make a difference for sure. We're gonna see him make a big difference for this team next year with him being on the team. So I'm excited to see it. Like I say, him playing with Kyrie Irving, he's with somebody who's going to be able to facilitate and give him the ball, and in good situations that's going to allow him to really show his talent on the court. But overall, though, he's going to be able to show talent on the court regardless, because the kid, like I say, he's talented, and that's why we're speaking about him going number one overall for a reason.
Yeah, the dude is going to be a great NBA player, I think, regardless of almost where he goes. Him going to the Mavs just makes it even better. Like LeBron said on his podcast the other day, you get to come right in with 3 Hall of Famers on your team. You got Klay Thompson, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Anthony Davis already on your team built in. You get to soak up game from those different guys. The only knock I have on him is I don't think he's going to be a superstar, which isn't a knock, because most people are never superstars. And we talked about it yesterday on the show, me and Rocky, I only have like 5 superstars in the NBA right now. Do I think he's going to be a guy like that? Top 5 player in the league, superstar, number one option on. No, I don't think that. But that doesn't. Most people aren't that. That's not a knock by saying that. Can he be a perennial all-star? Sure. Yeah. I think he's athletic. He can shoot the ball. He can do a lot of things good. When you can do a lot of things good, you'll find a way to make your way into the NBA. And then you're coming in on a veteran team that's got championship aspirations. Like I'm trying to think of the last time we've seen a championship aspirations team get the number one pick, probably the Spurs when they got Tim Duncan. So, and we see how that turned out.
Is it a good comparison that I feel like he'll probably be like, he'd be like Porzingis?
He could be healthy Porzingis, especially when he first came in. Something like I said, Andre Karolinko, and Kyrell told me I was tripping. That's because he wants him to be a superstar. But Karolinko is a multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time All-Star,
yeah.
multiple-time defensive player, defensive team maker. He made a few All-NBA teams. That's the type of role I see for him. When people coming in like, man, he got a jumper. He could be like Kevin Durant. It's like, okay, y'all you can't just become Kevin Durant. Like, that doesn't happen.
They gotta stop.
That doesn't happen. Maybe he could work himself into like a Kawhi. Kawhi worked himself into a star. Kawhi is one of the only guys that come in that's expected to be a role player and really just blossom into a true number one option on a championship team. Could he get to that? Maybe. But odds are he probably won't be. And that's not a knock on him. That's just being realistic with his game. I know he dominated at Duke, and they were saying it's the best freshman season ever for somebody at Duke, which I think is kind of crazy because Zion was just a freshman like 3 or 4 years ago. We're not going to act like – I know Zion do some wild stuff now, and he's injured now, but we're not going to act like he wasn't the number one most watched thing on television when he was at Duke and averaging 23, 24 points a game with the number 2 and 3 player in the nation on the same team as you. So, we're not going to do that with Zion, but – Cooper Flag definitely deserving of being that number one pick. He'll be going to Dallas. Soon as Dallas got the pick, they already said we're picking Cooper Flag. We're not going to work out. We're not going to take any chances. We're not going to do no whole bunch of interviews. We already know who we're taking in the draft, and that is Cooper Flag. So we'll see his name get called first. That draft coming up really in just under an hour at this point, folks. We'll get to see who goes in this top 10 of the draft, really who goes in the lottery, this top 15 of the draft. Before we move off the draft, I want to look at some of the last 10 number one picks over the last few years, and I'm going to rank some of these number one picks in the last 10 years. This is going all the way back from 2015 from Karl Towns, then Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, DeAndre Ayton, Zion Williamson, then the last 5 number one picks, Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama, and Zachary Reese-Sachet. So first off, at number 10, before we even talk about anything else, go ahead and stick Markelle Fultz right there. We know he's the worst out of the last 10 number one draft picks. Markelle Fultz is definitely the worst one. Shout out to Markelle Fultz, man. Went through a lot of injuries. A lot of crazy stuff happened, but at the end of the day, he's for sure the worst number one pick out of there. And then at number 9, right after him, I got to put last year's number one pick, Zachary Reese-Sachet. Only reason I put him at 9 and not 10 is because he just got drafted last year, and maybe something else will happen. But why the Hawks took him at number 10, I still don't understand that. The Hawks have never got the number one pick that I can think of in my lifetime. And when y'all finally get the number one pick, this is what y'all do with it? Yeah, they're not giving y'all another number one pick anymore. At number 8, I put DeAndre Ayton at number 8. I think Ayton has had, a decent career, but kind of overhyped to me. Still crazy that the Phoenix Suns took him over taking Luka or Trae Young. That still was crazy. I think Trae Young and Luka are both – well, Luka is clearly way better than DeAndre Ayton, but even Trae Young, you could have paired him with D-Book. That could have been a backcourt combo for a lot of years, but instead y'all took DeAndre Ayton. Number 7, I'm going to put Ben Simmons, and we all know why, man. It's Ben Simmons. He got off to a great start. Some people were saying Ben Simmons is 10. He's we're not going to act like the first 5 years of Ben Simmons' career didn't happen. He was all NBA. He was all defensive team. He was a multiple-time All-Star. His team went to the Eastern Conference semifinals multiple times. So shout out Ben Simmons. But, yeah, I'll put him there. And then from here is where it kind of starts to get tricky, and it's really just your own preference. So at 6, I'll go with Zion Williamson at number 6. I think he could be possibly the best player on this list, but he can't stay healthy. I don't know if it's the gumbo. I don't know if it's the etouffee. I don't know if he's getting them, what's them biscuit things called that they eat in the morning that's nasty, everybody hype up. I don't know if he's getting those with the little powder on them, but something is going on where this dude cannot stay healthy. Yeah, beignet. Yeah, I don't know if he's getting the beignets. They nasty, bro. I don't know why people hype up. I'm sorry. I went to the Cafe de Mondu, whatever place. I was disappointed, y'all. I was disappointed, to say the least. I think y'all hyped up them beignets. This is just a biscuit with some powder on top of it. But I don't know if he's eating too many of them or what's going on or why he can't stay healthy, but that's why I got him at number 6. At 5, I'm going to put Karl Anthony Towns there. Clearly he's been a great player. multiple-time All-Star, perennial All-Star, made All-NBA teams, all these type of things. But I just don't think he's better than the other guys up here. At 4, I'm going to go ahead and put Cade Cunningham right there, man. At 4, I think Cade is right up there with any of the rest of these guys as far as upside. He got the Detroit Pistons to the playoffs, so that should be enough right there to put him within the top 5 of this list. Getting the Pistons to the playoffs when this was been one of the worst franchises in the last decade that's been in the NBA. At number 3, and this is where it gets hard for me, it's really just preference. But if we're going with my preference, at 3, I'm still going to stick Wemby right there. Now, most people are going to stick Wemby there at number 1, but after you've been in the league for 2 years, I'm going to stop leaning on potential as much. Now, he is a great player. He's a phenomenal player. Victor Wembanyama can do everything on the court. I think his defense is even better than his offense, and he's a great offensive player. I just don't know if he's better. As of right now, I don't know if he's better than these other 2 guys. At number 2, this was a lot of people's number 1, but I'm going to put him at number 2. I'm going to put Anthony Edwards right there. Anthony Edwards, we've seen what he do, multiple conference finals, all of the above. Great scorer, phenomenal athlete, all the things that come with it. And future superstar, maybe future face of the league. But at number 1, I got probably the most underrated star in the NBA, and that's Paolo Banchero. We get enamored by Anthony Edwards and Victor Wembanyama, what all these guys do, and we somehow forget about Paolo Banchero. Right before the playoffs started, Paolo gave this Indiana Pacers team that just got to the finals, he gave them 50. He's just in Orlando. He's in a small market. Paolo Banchero is one of the best players in the league. I'm still mad that last summer he wasn't on Team USA, and they put like Derek White and Hallie on there, who ended up not even playing. Paolo definitely could have helped that team. I think he's the best out of any of those number 1 picks. PJ, anybody you disagree with there where I put some of those guys for the last 10 number 1 overall picks and how I rank some of those dudes?
No, that was a perfect top 10. I feel like Paolo and Anthony Edwards, they kind of interchangeable.
Yeah, that whole top 3 is just your preference, really.
Yeah, your preference, really. But I don't disagree with where you put any of them.
Yeah, I like some of the. Outside of Markelle Fultz, really we haven't had too bad of the number 1 picks. There was a stretch in the 2000s where we had some really nasty number 1 picks, like Michael Olowokandi and people like that. Like we had some pretty bad number 1 picks in the 2000s. So the last 10 years, the GM's been doing their thing. Still some questionable ones. How you take Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum is crazy. How you take DeAndre Ayton over Luka, that was crazy. So there was some question. And then the one last year, Zachary Reese-Sachet, it was just last year, so I won't go too in on it. But I still don't know why they picked him at number 1 to come off the bench. That didn't even make any sense to me. But like I said, the draft is tonight, folks. NBA draft tonight. People's lives are going to get changed for the better tonight. Coming on in about 45 minutes. Like I said, Cooper Flagg will be the number 1 pick. After that, we got to tune in to see who is going to be going where. I want to do a couple of quick takes here. We're in the second hour of the show. First, I want to go to a couple of local topics, man. The 7-on-7 state tournament is going on. I believe it's going to start tomorrow. We're being represented well in the greater Waco area. Waco High is out there. La Vega's out there. Midway is out there. Bosqueville is out there. I want to say China Spring is out there. I can't remember if China Spring is out there or not, though. But we're being represented well in the greater Waco area. So shout out to all of those kids, man. And hopefully somebody can bring us back some medals, some jewelry when they come back from this state 7-on-7 tournament. And we'll be tuning in all this week and then next week to tell us who those champions were. Like I said last week, in some Baylor recruiting news, the 5-star DN, Jamarian Carlton, number 1 player in the state of Texas, had his visit at Baylor. He's got Baylor still sitting in the top, in one of his top spots for where he could pick. Temple is right down the street. Baylor's been doing a great job of, like I said, drawing that line in the sand and getting these Central Texas kids to come. If Jamarian Carlton could come, that'll be huge for the program to add on top of them, getting some of these other local guys with the London Smith and Jamarian Vincent. Seen Devontae Kirkland commit last week as well. Baylor also signed a 4-star recruit, committed Jordan Deck out of Frisco, 4-star safety, one of the top-rated safeties in the nation, is committed to Baylor now to add on to a list of players that also committed over the last couple of weeks. Baylor's been doing their thing in recruiting, man. They passing out some of this NIL money, obviously getting some of these top recruits. What do you think about the latest Baylor recruiting news?
I'm loving it, man. Actually, was just talking to one of my friends about it yesterday, because Baylor, I mean, with Jamarian Carlson, they got a chance to get a 5-star.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Huge.
That's really huge. The fact that he still has them in his top 5 when he has Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and LSU in his top 5, he still has Baylor amongst those teams. You know what I mean? That's huge for really just for Baylor.
Yeah.
With all the guys in the city, like all the top guys in the city are committing to Baylor. That's another good thing too, because he sees that.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever, they got something really good going on at Baylor right now, man, with the program. Finishing off the season the way they did last year, even though they lost against LSU, that wasn't a game that I really was just really disappointed in, because this is still a team that, to me, honestly, because both those teams I support LSU and Baylor,
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, as far as for LSU, that was a game that y'all really shouldn't even have been in. That was a bowl game that y'all shouldn't have even been in, because that team was better, than
sure.
that to be in that bowl game. But for Baylor to even make it to that bowl game was huge, because I don't think any of us had those expectations going into the season. And so that's why I say that loss for them wasn't that big, because they're building something at Baylor right now that's really, really huge. And I feel like that they're going to end up being better than probably what we probably once seen them be. You know what I mean? We done seen these guys. I done seen them play in a Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss, or play in the Cotton Bowl against a Michigan State. Big games. But they have a chance, man, to keep on building with this recruiting. The way they're recruiting right now, man, they got a chance to, I'm talking about just reach heights that we've never seen them, or we have seen them, but continuously do it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really like the kid Jamarian Carlton. I'm really, really pushing for him to go ahead and go to Baylor. And if you don't go to
That'd
Baylor,
be huge.
I need you to go to Texas. If you don't go to Baylor, go to Texas. But I'm really pushing for him to go to Baylor, because, once you get one 5-star, man, you're gonna get a few other ones too. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, Baylor's doing a great job. This is one of the better recruiting classes I've seen. It reminds me of that 2016 recruiting class that could have changed the trajectory of Baylor, honestly, before all those guys decommitted with, Paris Cobbs was in there, and Devin Duvernay, all of those different guys. All those dudes that were in there. Jared Stidham had came the year before. Yep. That class could have changed Baylor history, and I think we're kind of building up. This 2026 class is going to be a pretty good class. Seeing the guys that are coming out this year, it's going to be a pretty good class. This year, Baylor's got some expectations on what they can do. Sawyer Robinson, Bryson Washington, Josh Cameron, all going to be leading the way on the offensive end. I'm excited, man. It's a good time to be a Baylor fan right now, with the way that their recruiting is going on the basketball side, on the football side as well. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now from the Baylor Bears. Like I said, folks, that blackout game versus Auburn, August 29th, man, going to be a huge one. Start the season off. First time out, or not the first time, but it's been the first time that I can remember in a long time the Baylor's got a big game like that to open up the season. That's why they're doing the blackout. I've seen the billboards already up. They're getting ready to do a blackout game on that Friday night. So that's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to be able to watch that. A couple more quick takes staying in college football. Former coach of the Florida Gators, and I believe he was the coach of South Carolina too, Steve Spurrier, has some things to say about the hype Arch Manning is getting. He thinks he's a little bit hyped up. He says, I don't really get all the Arch Manning hype. If he's so good, why did he sit the bench last year and play behind Quinn Ewers? Quinn Ewers ended up being a 7th-round pick, and Arch Manning couldn't beat him out for the spot. If he's so good, why wasn't he the starter last year? Okay, first off, sounds like a little hate coming from Steve Spurrier. Second, why would Quinn Ewers was the guy. They're not just going to put him on the bench because of a freshman that just came in. If Quinn Ewers is all your guy, Quinn Ewers was number 1 quarterback in his class. Yeah, like Quinn Ewers was a scrub that he was playing behind. Quinn Ewers was projected to be a 1st-round pick. It didn't end up going like that for whatever the reason was. But Quinn Ewers had all the upside. He was the number 1 player in the state of Texas when he was coming out. We're not going to act like he was backing up a scrub. Second, he did kick him out of Texas. That's why Quinn Ewers went to the draft. It's because he couldn't come back to Texas because it was time for Arch Manning to play. So I thought that take was a little bit weak from Steve Spurrier. He's he's a known hater at this point. We got 20, 30 years of him always saying something that's going to come off sounding a little hater-ish. I remember when his players went down there when he was at Florida and got lumped up by the Miami players when they were about to play in that bowl game in New Orleans. That's what I thought about when he had to come out and say this. What do you think about him coming out and saying that Arch Manning is getting a little bit too much hype for a guy that couldn't even beat out Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, you pretty much said everything that I possibly was about to say. I mean, it's stupid for him. I don't get it, man. The thing was like last year. So Quinn started out really good last year, and I feel like even going into the rest of the season, he still did pretty decent as to what we needed him to do. Definitely when it came to the college football playoffs. To me, he stood on business. Like I still say, I feel like we lost the Ohio State game because of coaching. It wasn't because of Quinn. It just wasn't, and he should know because he's a coach. So it just surprised me that he even said this. He should know that it wasn't Manning's time at that time. It wasn't Arch's time for him to play last year. And whenever we needed him, whenever Quinn went down, he did really good. But whenever Quinn came back, Quinn was our guy last year. He was the guy that was getting the most of the number one. He was getting all of the number one reps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it didn't make sense to bench him and then put in the number two guy who has been practicing mostly with the number two. So most of his connections are going to be with the number two receivers.
Yep.
I mean, who aren't playing like that. Guys who weren't playing like that. You know what I mean? So that would have just knocked a lot of the, the connections, like the connection with the offense it wouldn't have been the way that we needed it to be. Not saying that we still would have been losing a lot of games or whatever like that, but we would have still won most of our games, if not all of them. The season still would have went the way it did, but the offense wouldn't have been meshing as well as they were because Quinn, he was our guy last year, so we're going to roll with our guy. And like you said, he's talking about Quinn like Quinn is trash, like he's a bum or something.
Yeah.
Quinn was that guy coming out of high school. Like I don't know if guys remember, but he literally skipped his entire senior year and got up to Ohio State.
And was still the number one quarterback in that class.
Yeah, still number one quarterback up in the class.
After skipping a year. that's the part I didn't like. Like, let's not make it. And I'm not a guy that was a huge Quinn Ewers fan last year at all. At multiple times I said, hey, they should bench him and put in Arch. But we're not going to act like Quinn was a scrub now. We're not just going to do that and say, hey, well, he couldn't even beat out Quinn Ewers. Okay, he couldn't beat out a 5-star quarterback? A guy that was the number one quarterback in his class? Like, they acting like he was backing up, like he was backing up Sam Ehlinger or something. Yeah, that would have been different. But he's backing up Quinn. And then he was a freshman. So he's supposed to come in as a freshman, take the guy that was the number one quarterback in his class's spot that got them to the playoffs the year before and got them back to the playoffs this year. He's supposed to just take that guy's spot just because.
They both number one quarterbacks off their classes.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them.
I don't, Steve, that sounds like a little hate, man. I know you're 1,000 years old, and I know you didn't watch all the games. I just know you didn't watch them, Steve. I'm sorry. You're 1,000 years old, bro. You didn't watch all the Texas games. So let's not
go back and watch the games that, man, Manning upside is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's insane. Like, I done seen him, bro, up close before. He's 6'5". He's 6'5", 200 and like, I think he's like 230, 225. He like 230.
Still fast.
He's 6'5". Man, I'm talking about, bro, the kids, his lower half, his legs, bro, are huge.
Yeah.
We seen him run against Texas A&M. Dude ran through a guy, and got into.
Yeah, he was running people over.
Like, come on now, man. The kid, he's great, man. He got the deep ball, everything. The only thing I'm sure he's been working on it was really the intermediate passes that I really wanted him to work on because when it comes to the deep passes, he's got that already in his bag. And the guy he's just all around, bro. If he can run, he can run. We just found that out last year. He can actually run. He's the first man since his grandpa that we've seen.
Yeah, for real. Because he did not get that from his uncles at all.
From his uncles at all. Well, I heard his dad was that guy because his dad played receiver, but he got hurt.
For sure.
But Yeah, man. I mean, the kid is he's a great all around football player. I love his attitude. He's very humble. It's hard to dislike him. You really don't have any reason to dislike him. I mean, but it's very hard to dislike him. I mean, any interview that you ever see, like the kid wants to prove himself. He feels like that he doesn't have the right to be getting all this hype. So for Steve Spurrier to come out and just, you know what I mean, to me, just kind of talk down a little bit like that, that was kind of lame. Definitely just because of how old you are, you feel me? Like that's kind of lame to me, and it does sound like a hater a little bit. You know what I mean? It does
He
sound
better
like
than all the quarterbacks you had.
Yeah,
At Florida and South Carolina, he better than every quarterback you had all the 700 years that you was being a coach. So let's not just take this time to try to start trying to hate on Arch, man. Like you said, he's a super likable dude. Let's just see if he can play. At this point, is he getting a lot of hype? Yes. But let's just figure out, can he play? That's all that's left to do. Put the ball out there. Can this guy lead the offense? I don't see how he wouldn't be able to. Look at the offense he's playing with. He's gonna be good next year. We saw him play last year and he was good. So like, hey, Steve, stop hating on people, man. You're 1,000 years old. You shouldn't even have no more hate left in your heart, man. Let's leave that one alone. Go switching over to a little bit of NBA. The Nuggets GM Josh Kroenke said some I don't know, alarming things, I guess you could say. They were talking about the second apron. Everybody's been talking about this in the NBA. That's why we just watched all these trades happen with the Celtics. They got to get underneath that hard cap. Josh Kroenke came out and said, we gotta really work out how we're gonna operate under this hard cap, because if the wrong guy gets injured, now all of a sudden we might have to make a decision I never want to have to make, and that's trade number 15. He's talking about Nikola Jokic for one. Second, Josh Kroenke, why you didn't have to say that at all, bro? Why did you say we would end up having to trade Jokic? In what scenario that could happen that would make you have to trade Jokic?
Trade Jokic for who?
Why would that even come up? Why was that something that even came out of your mouth to say, yeah, if the wrong guy gets injured, we're gonna be out of assets and we might have to trade Jokic? Why would you trade? Why would that be the scenario? That doesn't even make sense. If you're the GM, why are you saying that? Like, what do you gain from even saying that? like you said, PJ, who are you going to trade him for? Are you going to get Michael Jordan to come out of retirement and that's who you trade? What player in the NBA right now is worth trading Nikola Jokic for?
You going to trade a 2-time MVP, bro?
3-time.
3-time, yeah, 3-time.
NBA champion, Finals MVP. Like, you're going to trade him for what?
It could have won the MVP this year.
Yeah, definitely could have won it this year. Like, he just was the first big man to ever average a triple-double. And you say, oh, if something happens, we might have to trade. Why are you even saying that? Even if you thought that in your head, why would you ever say that out loud? You know Jokic don't even care about basketball like that.
Nah.
So now he way in Serbia riding some of them big old horses, and he got to hear that you talking about, oh, yeah, if something happens, we might have to trade Jokic, and I never want to have to think about that. Well, why'd you say it then?
Yeah, bro.
Nothing good can come of you saying that. Like, nothing is good can happen after you say, yeah, if this goes wrong, we might. In no scenario could you ever trade. They will fire you before they let you trade. Before they let you trade Jokic. Like, what are you talking about, bro? That was like one of the dumbest statements I've heard probably of the year so far. For you to come out and say, yeah, if something happens, might have to trade. What GM has said that? What GM has come out and said, yeah, if something happens, we might have to trade the best player in the league? So Josh Kroenke, I don't know what do you think about him saying that, PJ? That kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Like my initial question, who you gonna trade him for? I don't know who you gonna trade him for, bro. Like, that's who. Come on now, what?
Don't even.
Yeah,
make
man.
sense.
I have no words.
I was shocked that he said it. I didn't know. I was like, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe he said something else. But I watched the video. This man real life said, yeah, I don't want to have to trade Jokic. Bob Myers, who was the GM of the Warriors when they had Steph and KD and all those guys, he said, yeah, this is a mistake. You never say anything like this. He said,
that'll be worse than Luka. That'll be worse than Luka.
That'll be way worse than Luka. Jokic got a championship. He got multiple MVPs. Luka doesn't have any of that, and it was still bad. They had a funeral when they traded Luka. That's how bad it was. You trade Jokic, you going to move out the country, bro. Ain't gonna be nowhere safe for you to go. Leaving Denver is not gonna be good enough. Unless you go to Dakota or something, that's gonna be the only place you're safe from the fans from doing something to you, because that don't even make sense.
I don't even know what they would do down there, man, because I'm up here in Dallas, man. I'm telling you, when they traded Luka, they had a second line out here.
That man had 24-hour security front and back door at his house, Nico Harrison. Like, he knew them people in Dallas wasn't playing at all.
Right. Man, they were so hurt down here, man. I've seen people all at the arena, man, in front of it. It was traffic. I'm talking about, man, even my coworkers and stuff, man, they was just down every day.
Because it don't make sense.
Yeah,
that still don't make sense. Even with the Mavs getting all the stuff they have now, that trade still doesn't make sense. A trade with Jokic would not. It'd be the worst trade unless Jokic says, "I hate everybody in Denver and I want to leave." That would be possibly the worst trade in NBA history if you trade Jokic.
These guys got to stop. These guys got to stop talking so much, man, because thoughts are getting the best of them. That's something that you shouldn't even say. I really don't know who you would trade him for in the league at this point. I don't. We literally just seen him. He led his team pretty much by himself. To Game 7 against the Thunder.
They need to be trading that Canadian and Jamal Murray. Why are we even bringing up trading Jokic? Get rid of Jamal Murray. Murray's the reason y'all losing.
Yeah,
he don't go off unless he see the Lakers. He see the Lakers. He want to hit game winners. He want to fall out of bounds, make a shot. Everybody else, a smooth 15 points.
Yeah. I don't never see him stand on business with nobody else.
Nobody. I don't know what his problem is. He hate the Lakers. Every time they play the Lakers, he go crazy. But everybody else, they ain't doing too much of nothing else. But yeah, Josh Kroenke, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. But I'm sure he's already had to call to Serbia and apologize. Maybe he bought Jokic another horse or something to make up for it. Because I don't even know what you're doing. Yeah, for real, bro. Jokic don't care about basketball. Is like his 9-to-5 job. Like, I'm just get up and go here, I guess. I guess I'll drop 30 and 20 today. I ain't doing nothing else. But as soon as he's done, Aaron Rodgers keep talking about we ain't gonna see him again. We never gonna see Jokic again. The second he retires, we're literally never gonna see him again. Somebody's gonna take a picture of him on a pasture somewhere in a Serbian field with some horses. Because we're not gonna. That's where he goes as soon as the season ends every year. He beeline straight back home, and he don't come back until training camp. We don't know what he's doing. We ain't gonna figure out what he's doing. Only videos we've seen is him jumping around dancing to some Serbian songs with some beer in his hand. So that's the only thing I've seen of him. And so Josh Kroenke, you got to get it together, bro. Never say something like that again. Next time, like you said, PJ, don't let your intrusive thoughts win like that, because you definitely let him win right there with saying that.
We really need a public apology to him.
Yeah, a public one. I already know you called him. He probably denied your call and stuff, but I already know you called him and probably tried to make up for it. But, yeah, come on, bro. You got to do a little bit better than that. While we got a few minutes here left on the show, I want to switch over, talk a little bit of NFL. Last week, ESPN put out their all-time or their all-pro team for the last 25 years. So since the year 2000, they put out a 53-man roster of the best players, 53-man roster of the best players from the last 25 years since the year 2000. I want to go down a couple of these positions and see if you agree with these. So starting off with the quarterbacks. This is the last 25 years in the NFL. That's all they're counting. They're not counting any stats from the 90s, anything like that, just from the year 2000 up until now. Obviously, a quarterback they put at the starter, they put Tom Brady. No argument there whatsoever. Second, they put Peyton Manning. Third, Patrick Mahomes. Now, the only problem I have with this, obviously Tom and Peyton, those are stamped. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to end up being better than just about all these guys, maybe outside of Tom Brady, and maybe even Tom Brady. But for his 7 years of being in the league, or since 2017, 2018, since he became the starter, he's put up some historic numbers. He's won multiple championships, multiple MVPs. It's still hard for me to just take that 7 years of body of work and already put him in front of a Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees. Those are the only two names that I would slightly try to throw in there at that quarterback spot. You know, I get it, Mahomes. He's got the argument. He's got the rings. He's got the championships. He's got all of that. But the body of work overall that Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees put out, I still think gives them some consideration. Do you agree with the 3 quarterbacks they put in there for that list?
Okay, so you said Tom Brady 1. Who had 2?
It was Tom Brady 1, Peyton Manning 2, and Mahomes 3.
Not where Mahomes at. Aaron Rodgers and Drew. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, and I get it. He's going to end up being better than those guys, but would it only be in 7 years of him being in the league? It's a little too premature, man. Drew and Aaron played at an extremely high level for at least 15 years straight, at least.
Long time.
Now,
that's crazy.
He's definitely got him in championships and all that stuff though. So I get it. They put honorable mention. They put Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees there, but I might have put them at running backs. This is where it gets to 100%, 1,000% disagreeing when I get to running backs.
2000.
Yeah, this is since 2000. They're gonna pick 3 backs now. This is since 2000. The 3 backs they put in: number 1, Priest Holmes; number 2, Christian McCaffrey; number 3, Derrick Henry. This is when my list. This is when I start throwing the list in the trash. What? When I seen the Priest Holmes ones, I kind of got excited. Like, oh man, usually people don't give Priest Holmes no love, and Priest Holmes was a monster. Usually he gets no type of love. So I got kind of happy when I seen him in there. But then you backdoor that with C-Mac and Derrick Henry.
What? AP?
No AP, no LaDainian.
And no LaDainian?
Wild.
AP and no crazy.
That's when I immediately started disagreeing with the list as soon as I seen that.
McCaffrey over LT and AP? Derrick Henry not even over AP yet.
No, absolutely not. And C-Mac ain't better than none of them. How did he even get? Did he make the list? How did he get in the list? Ain't this man
shouldn't even be?
Ain't this man missed half his career? Like, what are we talking about?
That's crazy, bro. That's very disrespectful. I'm mad now. That's crazy.
That's the same thing I did. I thought I was mad when I see Mahomes get on there, but I was like, Then when I got to running backs, I said, okay, now this is a clickbait list or something because this doesn't even make sense.
Ain't no way.
Adrian Peterson, LaDainian. There's so many people I would have put in there over Christian McCaffrey. If you want to say Derrick Henry, cool. I'm not putting him in there, but at least maybe I'll listen. But Christian McCaffrey is wild. Over AP and over LaDainian, I'll probably take Jamal Charles over Christian McCaffrey. I might take Jamal Lewis. I might take CJ2K.
Yeah.
I'm taking CJ2K over him. Frank Gore.
Joseph. Man, I ain't gonna need, bro.
Man, that's when the list just started getting so janky for me that I almost couldn't take it.
I got a lot of guys over C-Mac right now, bro. I don't even want to go through all of them because I got a lot of guys.
I'm like 10. Probably from the year 2000 until now.
They crazy.
That's when I was like, man, that's wild. Okay, fullback, they put Kyle Juszczyk. I don't got no argument there. I don't really care. I would have picked maybe Lorenzo Neal or something like that, but I ain't really tripping. What'd you say?
They ain't got Lorenzo Neal at all in the top 3?
No, and for fullback, they only put one person.
Vontae Leach.
Yeah, I would have put Vontae in there. That's my favorite fullback of all time. But they put Kyle Juszczyk, and the only 2 honorable mentions they gave is Patrick Ricard and Lorenzo Neal.
That is.
So, hey, it's fullback, so I ain't even really tripping. Now, here are the 6 receivers that they're going to put in here. Some of these I love. Some of these, is iffy. 6 receivers they put in. Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Terrell Owens, that's 4. And the last 2, Marvin Harrison and Justin Jefferson. Now, my only real disagreements with the list, we cannot put Justin Jefferson on this list. This man has only been in the league for 5 years.
They're not going to do Antonio Brown like that.
No way we doing Antonio Brown like that. We not doing Andre Johnson like that. Come on, man.
Ocho?
Over Justin Jefferson, yeah. He's only been in the league 5 years.
It's like Ocho wasn't top 3, bro.
Ocho definitely. I would definitely put Ocho in there over Jettas, but for sure Antonio Brown has to be the absolute first name to come up that didn't make it in. After that, Andre Johnson, of course. I love Andre Johnson as well. I wouldn't have been mad at Reggie Wayne. I wouldn't have been mad at it's a few different guys that don't include Justin. I mean, I get it, but y'all starting to get into the hype train now, putting Jefferson in here, and he only been in the league 5 years.
Got Larry.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. We didn't put Fitz in this list. This is never mind. I got to just move on to the next position. There's no way that Justin Jefferson made this list and Fitz is not on there.
I ain't gonna lie.
I almost don't even want to go through the rest of some of these. I told you it gets crazy. That's why I even brought it up. Because when I'm reading this, I'm like, man, who put together this list? We got to get the guy. I'm going to DM him. I'm going to find who made the list, and I'm going to DM him. Hey, bro, come on the show because we need some explanations for some of these picks. Putting Jettas in there and the man only played 5 years is crazy. He got 7,000 receiving yards. Like, come on, man. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Antonio Brown had 6 or 7 straight years of 1,200-plus yards, and he's not on the list. Larry Fitzgerald, come on, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Larry Fitzgerald led a team to the Super Bowl at receiver.
He wasn't dropping the ball.
Best hands in NFL history. I would have put D-Hop in there over Jefferson. I ain't gonna lie.
D-Hop.
I put D-Hop in there over Jettas, and I love Jettas, but come on, y'all, we taking it too far. Tight ends. This is the 3 tight ends they picked. This one really wasn't that bad. Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez. I probably agree with that 3. Those are the
That's
3.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Obviously, Antonio Gates could be there, but I don't have Antonio Gates better than any of those 3 guys right there. So I ain't mad at the tight end list. Tight ends, I'm cool with. I'm gonna skip over the linemen. I think they got most of those right, but I'm gonna skip over the linemen. I'm gonna go to edge rushers on the defensive side of the ball. Edge rushers. Okay. This is since the year 2000. They got DeMarcus Ware.
Okay.
Jared Allen, Myles Garrett, and Julius Peppers as their 4. Now, there's definitely some guys I feel like they could have put in there, even over Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett is off to a great start. He's already got 100-plus sacks in his career. But, guys like Dwight Freeney, guys like Michael Strahan, and the one the most that I feel like I should have seen on there, Von Miller. Where's Von Miller?
Like,
come on, man. Von Miller most definitely should have been on there. Now they did one spot for versatile defensive lineman, and they gave that to J.J. Watt because you already know I was going to throw the whole list away if they didn't put J.J. Watt somewhere on this list. And this man got 3 defensive player of the years. We're not going to do that to J.J. But they put him on here. They made a whole nother position. They put versatile defensive lineman. They put 1 nose tackle on here. They put Vince Wilfork for the 1 nose tackle. I ain't mad at that.
Okay.
And their honorable mention was Casey Hampton. I ain't mad at that. The 3 defensive tackles, I disagree somewhat with where they could have put some of these guys. They got Aaron Donald, Calais Campbell, and Chris Jones as their 3 defensive tackles.
No.
I'm not putting Chris Jones on there yet. Aaron Donald, obviously, that's a given. But we're talking about since the year 2000. I'm pretty sure Warren Sapp played in 2000. I will put it.
Sapp.
Maybe they're saying most of his time was in the 90s, but Warren Sapp for sure has to be over them. Chris Jones, Calais Campbell. See, maybe they're thinking of Haloti Nada like nose tackle instead of really defensive tackle, maybe. But I would have put Haloti Nada in there over Chris Jones as well. See, they putting in Super Bowls and stuff like that. Like, come on, man. Patrick Mahomes is the reason they won the Super Bowl. I'm not going to put Chris Jones in there because Patrick Mahomes won 3 Super Bowls. I'm not saying that Chris Jones ain't good.
Dude's not game planning over Calais Campbell.
Yeah, for real though. And Calais is a good guy. He's played for a long time. He's been playing since 2008. But no.
Game planning over him?
No, we're not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna leave out certain guys and put Calais Campbell on there. But that was their 3 nose tackles. Linebackers. They picked 5 linebackers for the all since 2000 team. All since 2000 team, everybody, if you're just not tuning in, that's what we're going through for the NFL and the ESPN. Now this one, they got a couple of right, and then they got a couple that I'm like, all right, come on, y'all. We tripping. The 5 they put in here, Ray Lewis, given. Okay. Bobby Wagner, I agree. Brian Urlacher, I agree. And then Luke Kuechly, I agree with that one. Luke Kuechly was a dog for sure. He retired early, but was a dog. And at the 5th spot, they put Levante David, and that's when I start saying, all right, guys, we got to stop
it. Where is Patrick Willis?
Patrick Willis is not on the list, and if they say, okay, well, he retired early, cool. Still would have put Patrick Willis on this list. Derek Brooks, not on the list. Pretty wild. Derek Johnson, not on the list. Pretty wild.
Waco's.
Yeah, like Waco native Derek Johnson most definitely should have been on the list. And they left out some names. I like London Fletcher. I think London Fletcher could have been on there over Levante David. Yeah, man. I that's the linebackers I definitely don't agree. And they gave him 5 spots. But Levante David cannot be one of those 5 spots. Like, come on, yeah. And I like Levante David, but we not doing that.
Patrick Willis, that gotta be in. I look at him like Ray Lewis 2.0.
He was. Him and Navarro Bowman was playing together. Either one of them could have gotten into that spot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with that one at all, man. Levante David, good player, great player, going to the Hall of Fame, but he's not even the best linebacker for his team. Derek Brooks, we're not gonna put Levante David in over Derek Brooks. Like that is kind of crazy to me.
90s though.
Yeah, I get it. But he got that chip in the 2000s, and he kept playing for a while into the 2000s. Yeah. So that is what it is. All right, the 5 cornerbacks they put in. Now I know there's some disagreements here on guys that I could have put in, but they put some staples in. Darrell Revis, it's a given.
Okay.
Champ Bailey, that's a given. Rondé Barber, I like that one. I like Rondé. Right. Rondé don't get a lot of credit, man. Rondé Barber was a dog because he played in that Tampa 2, and everybody, he didn't play man. Okay, but he did amazing playing zone. Number 4, they put Patrick Peterson. I definitely agree with. Another guy that don't get enough credit for being a true lockdown corner. And at 5, they put Richard Sherman. And, I like Rich, the Legion of Boom, what he was able to do. I like what he did. But, I like guys like Ty Law. I think Ty Law had a really great career. Yeah. Asante Samuel most definitely deserves to be on that list. The most interceptions out of any of the guys that we just named. Asante should have definitely been on there as well. I like most of those corners on there, but I feel like, Asante or even Ty Law could have replaced Richard Sherman on that list. Who'd you say?
Yeah. I said, no, they had to be on there.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of those guys should, especially Asante. Like, come on, man. Asante got more picks than any of those guys.
Asante for sure.
Any of those guys. He got more picks than any of them. So they definitely should have been on that list. But that one wasn't as bad. And then to round it out, the 4 safeties that they put on this list, I think they did a pretty good job with the 4 safeties they put on here. Number 1, they got Ed Reed. 2, Troy Polamalu. 3, Brian Dawkins. And 4, Earl Thomas. The only one that's even debatable in there is Earl. The other 3 are staples. It's not even a question to ask. But I like Earl Thomas at this spot, though.
Yeah, I like him too. But you can change. Like me, I was more of a fan of Cam.
Yeah, that's me too. I always thought Cam was the better player in that duo of safeties. I always thought Cam was the best player on that defense, honestly.
Yeah, he was. I don't mind Earl at 5.
I'm not tripping on Earl getting there. He's a Texas guy. I ain't tripping on Earl Thomas being able to get in there. Kicker, they put Justin Tucker. Obviously, no one cares about that. And return specialist, they got Devin Hester. If they would put anybody else, it just would have been blasphemy almost to put anybody else there for kick returner. Devin Hester, in my opinion, the best kick returner of all time. Some people say Dion. Some people say Dante Hall. It's Devin Hester.
Yeah.
That man scored the only touchdown for his team in the Super Bowl. First play of the game. Houston.
Yeah.
Like that's legendary stuff. That's stuff that nobody else even do. So I'm definitely agreeing with him getting on there. But man, I think they had some really good spots in there, but obviously some of those were not. I mean, the running back one was the worst group out of any of the groups they picked. The running back group was the absolute worst group they could have picked. They deserved to get their job called for even making that list. That's a crazy. Not putting LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson on any running back list to do it the 2000s. We shouldn't even listen to you anymore. That don't make no type of sense whatsoever, man. But yeah, that was the list. Maybe go ahead.
LaDainian had us on, all of us. We literally was squabbling to get number 21.
Facts. That's not even a joke. You might have to squabble just to get 21. Man, LT, come on, bro. For what he did for our city, of course, but for what he did for the NFL. He took Marshall Faulk did, and took it to a whole nother level. And the fact that they put C-Mac on the list over him, I think C-Mac's dad might have made this list. Ed McCaffrey probably made this list. Because that don't even make sense. How does C-Mac get on this list? He doesn't deserve. He don't belong nowhere on that list.
You gotta put AP.
Yeah, and then you have to put. To me, as far as a runner of the football, the best.
There's nobody.
Man, come on, man. I don't. Maybe you want to put Walter in there, Eric Dickerson. I'm talking about just pure runner of the football. It's not really nobody that I saw with my eyes in my 29 years of living better than Adrian Peterson. I'm talking about from every level. From high school, I didn't see anybody better. From college to right now, man. I'm not doing that.
I watched him at every level at some point, bro.
Every level.
Because he played my cousin, bro. When he was a senior high school, he was already 18 with a bald head.
I know he thrashed him. I know
Bro.
He put up 400 yards on him. He had to.
Dude had like 300 some rushing yards.
Yeah, like with ease too. With ease. Then yeah, shout out to AP. Best running man, and we got all the backs in Texas. I'm talking about we got Earl Campbell, we got LaDainian, we got Eric Dickerson. All the backs come from Texas, and he might be the best back out of Texas, man. That says a lot. For him to not be on that list is absolutely crazy. I really don't even know how that happened. Go ahead.
No, okay. No, Priest from Arkansas. He's from Arkansas.
Yeah, Priest from Arkansas. Yeah.
Fort Smith.
I don't know how he didn't make that list, but that was the ESPN last 25 years all NFL team. Obviously, some missteps in there, and I think before the season this year, I'm gonna come out with a list. I'm gonna get together with the guys on the show, and we come out with our own list because I know we can do better than that. Some of those was just kind of iffy. I know for a fact we can do better than that list right there. But shout out to those guys that made the list, man. Gave us something to talk about for sure. But I'm gonna have to chime in with my own list. Before we get off the show here today, I want to thank everybody for jumping on here with us. PJ, yesterday we talked a little bit about the NFC East, man, the Dallas Cowboys, obviously, and what they're gonna do. I said they're over and under for wins within the first 5 games. Rocky, who's the Cowboys fan, he didn't give y'all much hope, man. He said that in the first 5 games, y'all might win 1 game. So he didn't give y'all much hope at all. This is the first 5 games the Cowboys got in the season. I'm gonna read it off for you one more time. Philadelphia opening up the season at week 1, and then week 2 they come back home. They play the Giants. Week 3 they get back on the road, go up to Chicago. They come back home to play on Sunday Night Football in week 4 to play the Green Bay Packers, and then week 5 back on the road to go out there and play the New York Jets. Over under of 3 wins in that first 5 games. What you taking?
4-1.
4-1? With
4-1.
The one being the Eagles?
Yes.
Yeah. See, now I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I was a little more optimistic than he was. You know, he said y'all might get 1 win to the first 5 games to start the season. I definitely think they'll beat the Jets, if nothing else. I don't trust Justin Fields or anything to do with the Jets.
We're going to Chicago?
At Chicago week 3.
Who Chicago got that we can't beat?
Maybe he's thinking, it's on the road. Chicago's offense is going to be a little bit better. I don't know. But
that's all hope. That's all hope.
Yeah.
No, we don't know. No, we're beating them. The Packers, they can go either way. That's why I said 3-2.
Yeah, only reason I would pick the Packers, it don't even have nothing to do with their team. Just every time the Packers come and play at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, they smack them. I don't know why that happens like that, but it continues to happen over and over and over. But even the Packers don't have something that's like world beater. What do I think Matthew Golden gonna go out there and go for 150 or something? I don't think so. So they don't have anybody that I would be scared of if I'm the Cowboys. And then the Jets, it's the Jets. I'm never gonna be scared of the Jets. It's the Jets. They got Justin Fields. They got a brand new head coach. They got a new person. We don't know what they're gonna look like out there. They do have a really, really tough schedule once they get to their bottom last half of the season. Starting with playing the Eagles, and then right after that, 3 days later, they play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, which is crazy. Then a week after that, they play the Lions on Thursday Night Football. Then they backdoor play the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Then on Christmas, or right before Christmas, they play the Chargers. On Christmas, they play the Commanders, and then they end the season with the Giants. So they do have a tough stretch at the end of that. I will agree with that. So the Cowboys, hopefully by that time, he said yesterday, they'll have to be around 500 for them to even be competitive. If not, then the season could be over once it gets to that. Because that's a tough stretch of games to go back-to-back-to-back weeks like that with the Cowboys. The other team, one of the other teams in the NFC East, one that I'm interested to watch, man, and it's actually the New York Giants, because I just want to see what are they going to do. Their offense is going to be the offense is going to be bad. We know the offense is going to be bad. I don't trust Russell Wilson. I don't trust Jameis Winston, and I definitely don't trust Jackson Dart. But they might have the best defensive line in the league. I'm talking about the entire NFL. That's the only reason that makes this team slightly interesting to me. The offensive side of the ball is pretty much Malik Neighbors and a bunch of randoms. But on the defensive side of the ball, that front seven is scary. With Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, who's the best D tackle in the NFL, Abdul Carter, who, by all reports in camp, looks like an absolute freak. They say he's literally throwing grown men on the ground, or he's just way faster than everybody out there. And then they also got Kayvon Thibodeau, who's been playing great the last couple of years, who was a top 5 pick out of Oregon. What do you think about the Giants? Do they have any hope of doing anything this season?
I don't see their offense getting them to the promised land. So, they'll be better. They're going to be better than they were last year. But I don't really see them doing too much.
That ain't saying much.
The defense will be a lot better for sure. Because like you just said, their defensive line, they got some dogs.
That's crazy.
But, yeah, it's crazy what they got on the D-line. So it's going to be hard to probably score on them. But as far as them scoring on people, it's going to that's going to be hard too. So I don't really know. I don't really see them doing too much. But like I said, I think they'll be a little better though. It's a process with them right now, man.
Yeah, and that process of them getting Jackson Dart made their process a lot longer, in my opinion. Because like you said, yes, their defense will be good, especially their defensive line. But you got to be able to stop somebody. For one, in the secondary, I still don't like their secondary, and I don't know who they're going to score on. If it's not getting the ball to Malik Neighbors, I don't necessarily know exactly what they're going to do for scoring options. Russell Wilson, if you're depending on him to take you to the promised land and to score every single week, you already lost. Just going to keep it a buck. You already lost. Y'all thought I was tripping when I said that about Russell Wilson last year and had a couple of good games, and y'all started, oh, man, look, he had a 300-yard game. He did this. And what happened the last 5-6 weeks of the season? Nothing. They lost their last 5 games of the season, including the playoffs. So I don't see them doing much of anything else. They went and got Cam Scatterboo, but we don't know what that's going to look like in the NFL, man. I don't trust guys running no 4.8 playing in the NFL. I'm sorry. All that, I'm bigger than everybody, run over everything type of thing. I don't know if that's going to work in the league. Could it? Sure. Maybe you could turn to Mike Allstott or something. But I don't see it really working out like that. But The Giants are a project team, and I'm interested to see what they're going to look like, really, just because of their defense. The offense is going to be trash as usual. Eagles are going to be good again. The Commanders are going to be good again. So the NFC East is loaded with talent, and it's going to be really fun to watch this year. Still mad at the Giants. Y'all could have been the first NFL division ever to have all black quarterbacks. But instead, you took a guy with a mullet in the draft. So I can't really root for you after that. But we're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. Want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here on Centex Primetime. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place to close out the week. We'll talk about the NBA draft. It's getting ready to start right now. The Dallas Mavericks are on the clock. We already know where they're taking Cooper Flag. But who's coming after that is what we got to wait to see. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube, Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV. Go on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Also, subscribe to the website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Go over there and check it out. You can catch all of our content on there. You can catch the show and any of our other content on there. Free subscription. All we need is your name and your email, and you can get signed up. Follow me at my bottom ticker there, at Jalen Gillis. You'll see it on the screen on Instagram. You can also follow this show at Centex Primetime on Instagram as well. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Want to thank PJ for calling in with us. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Everybody have a great evening.